I'll get you guys up on my phone. Well, that was easy. All right. I think I managed to go live with no technical difficulties. Cross my fingers. If you can see me, say hi. Let me know you're here, please. Hi. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is an 18-inch grapevine. Got it from Michael's. As you can see, it's really trashy. Really, really dirty. This is basically all I do is I set it over the top of my trash can. You can totally do this over your table and just, sweep it into the trash can at the end. My trash can is right here, so. This one came with a bunch of huge leaves in it. They didn't clean these vines very well before they put this one together. There's going to be a lot of the grapevine exposed on this one, so I want to get it fairly clean. Oh, you can smell the woodsy. Smells like the woods in fall. Holy smokes, there's a lot of leaves in here. I probably should have cleaned this one before I came live. Save some time. It's going to take me 30 minutes to clean this one, y'all. I have to make a supply run because I'm out of grapevines. This was my last one, so I have no choice but to use it. I don't have anything else. Come on. Okay. There's a lot. I apologize, y'all. I should have done this beforehand. I didn't realize this one was that bad. I see some of y'all commenting. I'll come over and answer some questions here in just a minute. Holy cow. I have only covered one little section and like the rest is covered. All right. This I think is going to be our front. The other side looks way worse. I can clean it later. I'm going to clean the parts that I'm going to be covering and gluing through. Only minimally clean those parts because you're not going to see those. All right. I got a good bit of it out. All right, let's see who's here. Hi, Candace. Hi, Tracy. Kay. Linda. Rhea. Hello, ladies. I got my wreath stand at a convention, and I don't know why I cannot remember the lady's name, but Lori said it was in the live last week. So I can try to go back and tag you in it. If I forget, send me a message and remind me, and I'll tag you in that so we can get that lady's name. There was just one big blob I wanted to get. Okay, so after you give it the haircut, decide how it hangs the best. I like this side. We're going to be doing a hydrangea monogram. So the monogram is going to go here. Or, yeah. All right. So once you've decided how it hangs best and how you're going to decorate it here, then we can get started. I already got pipe cleaners put on the back of the monogram. And the monogram comes unpainted usually. So I use Kills. I don't use the, what is it, the apple barrel that you get at Walmart or any other kind. I use Kills on these. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Christy. The sound is in and out. I don't think I can change the sound. It might be in and out just because I'm walking over there. Let me know if you can hear me better with me standing here. I'll move the mic like right here. So maybe that'll help. Let me know if that works. There's a few just scraggly pieces I'm going to cut off, but not many. I like to leave the flyaway natural look as best I can, as long as it's going to allow it to sit flat on the door. And if there's any loose ones that you can cut out, great, cut them out. If not, wind them back in, weave them back in. I'm not doing the whole big oval or half circle like I typically do. We're just going to use 3 hydrangeas this time. Do something a little simpler, a little easier on the pocketbook. All right, I think that's good enough for the haircut. So the first thing I always do, you guys will get to know this, is I lay down my ficus. Some people choose to do their sign first. Mine is starting this way. So ficus comes in, it's got 3 veins on it. I cut them down. You've got 2 smaller ones and 1 longer one. We're going to take one of the smaller pieces. Decide where you want your bow. My bows usually go here unless I'm doing some other design. This is my favorite place. It's the same recipe I use a lot, but you can make it look really different depending on what you use in your wreath. The sound is better? Okay, thank you, Linda. So I put my hand kind of in an eyeball where my bow is going to go. And that gives me a good guideline where I'm going to place this piece. So just put a little bit of glue. We're going to put our hand here to mark where our bow is going to go. Take this piece, lay it flat, and not on the face here, kind of on this top edge, not directly on the top, but kind of on this top edge. That's where I want you to lay this flat and kind of weave it in and insert it. I put my finger in the glue, just like that. And then you can bend it so it lays a little better. You kind of want it to fan out. Okay. We're going to take the other short piece, kind of give it a little curve the other way. Put a little glue on it. Mark your bow flat and insert it. Oh, goodness gracious. I should have cut that one down a little bit more. And then you can shape it. Gonna take this third piece and it'll come down this side. Gonna put a little bit of a curve in it before we put it in. And you want it to, the green leaves to start where these kind of end. So you start way back here and you weave it and push it through. Those were laying too forward. I just pulled them through some branches to the back because that's where our bow is going to go, and we don't want these pieces kind of encroaching on our bow and making it push forward. I got some stragglies back here. Hang on. All right. Now, we've kind of gotten the general area that we're going to have the greens and florals, okay? So then you can place your sign. So we want this. I've already taken the liberty of putting this pipe cleaners on the back. You can staple them in. You can use cable mounts. You can actually take jute and wrap it around and just tie it around the frame. Lots of options for attaching a monogram. I'm just going to take the pipe cleaners and run them through and tie it off in the back. All right, where's my little needle? These things are so awesome. I'm going to take it down and lay it down just so I get a better, tighter twist on it. Trim off the excess, and then take your pipe cleaners and feed them down inside the wreath. Okay. And we got to figure out where we're going to put the bottom ones at. Let's see. All right. Looks good. caught on something. Yeah, there's little sticks sticking up there. Go. I'm gonna have to sweep out here now. Breaking all of that into the floor. Little glue. I fight with it every week. Alright. Probably should put one more right here. I just am not going to do it now because I'm pressed for time. So depending on the letter that you're using, you're going to have different anchor points. So wherever you can best secure it, that's what you're going to have to do. If you've got a letter that's got a lot of these thin pieces where you can't get a cable mount, like I said, you can always take a piece of jute or some, baker's twine, wrap it around it and tie it off to the frame that way. Next thing we're going to do is our bow. And I wasn't sure the ribbon that I wanted to use. So I pulled several. Remember when I told you guys last week, I just kind of take my colors, pull them all together, and kind of set them in front of the ribbon. And that tells me what I need to use. I had thought about using this 2.5 inch, it's iridescent. So it would pick up the pinks, the purples, and the yellows. But I think now that I'm looking at it, these three go just a little better. So I think we're going to do the neutral bow. That is easy. Hi, Sherry. How are you today? Okay, so I've got 3 1.5 inch selections. Do I want to do all 3? Yeah, I want to do all 3. Now you just have to decide which goes better. I'm going to separate them like this because we've got a solid here, a stripe, and a polka dot. But this has a lot of negative space where it's, very similar to this. Not so much here. So we're going to use this that has the more white to break up the 2 darker colors. So we will start with this. And I'm going to move my chair over here so you can see me. That seemed to work better last week. I'm going to take a piece of 26 gauge wire, run it down the center, and just fold it over onto the bottom like that. And set your bow maker on top of it. Now we're going to do an 8-inch tail. And decide what size we're going to make the bow here. Okay, we're going to do an 8-inch tail and 14-inch loops. Okay. We're going to do 3. I'm going to do 4 of this one. I'm thinking about the bow in my head, what I want it to look like. All right, so we've got 4 loops. We've got an 8-inch tail coming out the top. We're going to leave a little bit of a longer tail. We're not swagging this down because we're doing just up here. So we don't need that much length, but I do want enough to curl. Okay. So just bring it over to your Bodabra and put it in. Remember, each layer that I lay in, I go ahead and straighten. I hold down one side as I'm fixing the other side. You see that one kind of got twisted and now it's laying funny. You need to go in and fix that, or it's going to lay funny at the end as well. It doesn't magically fix itself. Okay. I think we're good on that one. And we're going to put the stripe. Same thing, we're going to do an 8-inch tail, 14-inch loops. Okay, we're doing 4 of these as well. Same thing, we're going to cut a little bit of a longer tail. All right. Oh no, what did I do? Please tell me it didn't disconnect. Okay, phew. I thought I disconnected us. This would be the very last roll of the ribbon I got from Sam's 3 Christmases ago. And this is my last roll. I picked up many of these rolls while they had them out that year. Same thing, 8 inches, 14 inches. You know what? We're going to come down to 13 inches on those. 13 inches. I think we're just going to do 3 of those. These were 13 inches. The other 2 layers were 14-inch loops. These were 13. And there's only 3 of these. I am gonna take, oh, more of each. I'm just making tails that we're gonna put on the back. Yeah, just like that. So actually lay that to the side for a second. You're gonna go ahead, cross them, cinch down, pull it up, keep a tight squeeze on it, work your wire to the back. I give it 1 or 2 twists. I lay it flat open, and then I'll lay the tails in just like that. So you've seen me put in tails as we go between each layer. You've seen me add them to the back. You've seen me add them separately. So there's all different ways that you can get the look you're going for in a bow. Okay. Now we're just going to feed it through and cut it off. It really tight. Trim off the excess and then tuck it in so there's no bulky edges. Just like that. Gotta cut some tails. We are going to dovetail these. A little shorter. I'm not gonna dovetail all of these. Let's curl some. Let's curl. So remember, we fold over one little time and another time, and we crease those wires so it gives a nice finished edge. We're going to do the same thing for these other pieces. One little fold, 2 little folds, pinch those and crease it. roll. You can make these curls as loose or as tight as you'd like. Hi, Kathy. Hold on, I see some more comments, but I can't read them all. I got to get closer. I'm blind. Hi, Robbie. Oh, yeah, Lori. I mean, I use those needles like every time I make a wreath, basically. So if anybody doesn't have them, you'll need to grab them. And they're not expensive either. I think they come in a 2 or 3 pack. Okay, this may be way too many curls for my personal taste. We may end up dovetailing some of these, but we'll see at the end. I do wish they had seasonal out all year. That would be great. I mean, I'm not a super huge fan of all their ribbons. Some of it is very flimsy. It's not heavily wired, so it's not my favorite to work with. But when it comes to a neutral colored ribbon, I always try to stock up if I can. All right, so remember, to fix my bow, I go down to the center, and that's where I twist. And separate. Sometimes you don't always twist, you just separate. So for now, that's as good as it's going to get on the bow because we're just going to be doing other stuff. And I really don't want to have to keep messing with it. All right, so I think we've got all the tails and stuff we're going to use. I'm going to go ahead and put the ribbon away. I did get these other two, the polka dot and the stripe. These came from Sims. Back here. The next thing after you get your bow, we have the big focal point flowers. Okay. So this week we're only going to use 3. And when I use 3, I'm going to show you where I place them. I kind of look at the pieces that I have to work with, and then how they lay, and which one will best fit in the space I'm going for. These are lighter than the typical ones I use. The typical ones I use have like a stem as big as your thumb. These are really thin, and they're really light, so I am not going to have to zip tie these in. First one is going to go up here. Yeah, I'm not digging all these tails. We're going to dovetail some of those, I think. They're just all up in my way. All right, the next one. We're going to put, where do I want these? Right there, I think. Yeah. So this one has a longer stem. I'm going to put it back here, and I'm just going to stick it straight down in. Yeah. I turned it down. Okay. I bet you can't guess where the other one's going to go. Thank you, Christy. Thank you so much. My husband's standing over in the corner over here whispering at me. I can't hear him. I'm like, huh? There we go. Try to make a triangle. If for whatever reason you can't get one to sit right up here, you can pull this one up a little, bring this one over to this side of the bow, and bring this one down further. So those are two different placement areas for your big hydrangeas. Let's go ahead and fix this because it's driving me bananas. We're going to keep this big long one. And we're going to keep that long one, I think. I know my loops here. They're not buried. All right. I think that's good. Those needed to change that. I switched them and I don't like them. Okay to play with your bow a little bit because I do. All right, that's good enough. So back to the tails. And this one just doesn't hold its curl very well at all. That is kind of my issue here. I either have to curl it super tight so it holds, but then it doesn't give me the big loops like I'm looking for. Okay, that's a little better. Let's just do this. Sorry, I'm changing up the bow. I don't like all these tails. There's just too many curls. So we're shortening up the bow, and that's okay. Pulling some of the longer tails over and around. Okay, so you can have some coming out different sides of your bow. So we added tails at the end. That doesn't mean that you can't pull them and drag them around to other positions in your bow. I like that one. That was laying right. Way better. Okay, moving on. Now we have a little more green and some filler that we're going to throw in there. I brought several things, like I like to do. I always bring things that coordinate and kind of go with each other. And then I just pick what kind of goes together at that moment. So I've got a couple of pink flowers left on this bush that I can use. Got some little rose buds, some different kind of ferns, some heather. These, I can't remember what these are called. Maybe it's on here. No, of course not. There's the stem. I can't remember what these are called, but I've got a little bit of white filler, some purple filler, and some more dense, larger fern. Do I have a tag on this one? This is mixed fern bush. Mixed fern. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a couple of the bigger pieces out. So you can see down here, I'm just going to cut some of the bigger pieces out. I'm not going to use this whole fern bush, but I like it because it's a variety. That might be enough right there. I got this real big piece. This piece has, some nice little moss covered branch on the end of it here. So that's a nice visible piece that I think would look good back in here. It's tall, kind of fans out, so it covers this area well. If not there, it should probably go there. Let's see what we got. Do we have any other dense pieces like that? Yes, sir, we got two. Woo, I like that. Make sure you're putting it in with all the faces forward. Remember, you gotta turn them all forward. My glue is dripping everywhere. There we go. Ooh. I'm gonna go in here and cut that other really dense piece out because I really like that kind of pattern. And that one. Candace, that's okay. You can catch the replay and watch it from beginning to end, or just fast forward to the parts that you're going to miss because you have to go. So all I'm doing with this bigger fern is I'm filling in and creating a line, a visual line for the wreath. Now, if you can see some of the mechanics from, the glue and stuff, it's okay because we'll either cover it before we're done or by the time we're done adding all this stuff, or we can put moss on it and it covers it right up. That's a really nice placement right there. I like how those are sticking up. All right, there it is. Here's the other dense one. We're gonna lift that a little bit and slide this up under there. There we go. Now we need some more of this longer pieces of fern. Got a couple of longer pieces here. Here. So see, I put that one here because we've got the line that we're creating here. Now we get to here, and look, we've got another gap. Line, 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 gap. So we'll need to put another piece in there. Fantastic. This, honestly, oh, that one came out easy. I'm glad it did. This one needs to move up just a little bit. Maybe better. Some of that glue off before I go. Sometimes I can pick it all off, and if I can't, I just put a little tiny piece of moss over it. And you don't know. You never know it's there. No, I got it all. So if all you had to work with is this right here is just the 3 flowers and 1 fern bush, you could totally go with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Oh, let's see. Might be a little crooked, but maybe you can see a little better. Does that help? Sorry about that. I'm just building out the edges so it kind of feathers out instead of, you know, abrupt stop. I feather it out at the edge so it creates a softer edge. Thank you. I'm sorry, ladies. I didn't know. We're going to go in with the white next. This piece looks like it's got, we're going to say 4 solid pieces on it. Could be 5 depending on how you cut it, but I made this one a rather large cluster. You can totally split that into 2. You know what, I think I'm going to do that. Only because when you break it down even further, you get more control of placement. That doesn't mean that you can't still place them together in a cluster, but it means you can place it maybe just a smidge to the, left of it, and it, can lay in a different way. I'm going to go around and kind of evenly fill in with the pieces that I have. I'm going to put another piece up there. Up there. I totally messed up my bow on that. I should have moved the flower, not the bow, but oh well. All right, so now we've got 3 more pieces. That's going to go up there. That's going to come over here, I think, right here. There we go. That one's going back there. The small one's going over here. I'm going to put some white over here. So I'm going to put that one in there. But this one is going to go right back there on the top because it's tall. I'm going to put it way back here behind all the greens. I'm going to put it right here behind the bow, kind of to the side of the hydrangea. Kind of pull the stem of it kind of through the hydrangea a little bit so the flower's kind of peeking out of it. Whew. You know what, I'm going to pick this one, put it in there. I've got a long pick. That's what I'm going to do. I have this one little cluster left, and I have a gap that, from my eye, looks like it could use some white right in here. A little bit higher. But I'm going to glue this on, and I'm going to let it sit and set up for a minute. I'll add some of the other flowers. I may be able to cover that space with some of the lavender, but just in case, I have this one picked, and we can put it wherever we need it at the end. All right, so the next thing we need to decide, are we going to use these flowers? I don't think so. I think we're just going to go with the yellow and the lavender. I'm going to pick a few of these pieces off as well. These are just the light and airy aspect of the wreath. More glue on that. Yeah, beautiful. I just kind of want this to stick out a little bit here and there. And I'm going to leave it tall. Purple. We're going to bring a little purple down here now. Gotta have it in your cup. This is just the finishing touches. I'm going to add, I think, a couple of these separately. Right. A little piece coming out down there. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? A little bit over here. I need to look another. Let's see, what do we got here? We got some fern right there. Yeah. Just bare right here. We needed a little more there. I don't like that. That's too big. That was too much. Oops. So we tone it down a bit. We've got this piece. I think that'll work better. All right, what else do we need? I think we got a good bit of that purple. Let's move on. I have a different purple, and I have these pinks. I really just don't like the pink. I have these. The heather. There's 3 pieces in here. So we're going to evenly spread them out. Yellow is perfect for spring, isn't it? It's such a happy, refreshing color. Okay, there's a little bit of heather there. We're going to put this 2-piecer right in there, I think. And then, do I have another one of these? Let me see if I have another one of these. It'd be really great if I had another one of these. But I don't, do I? I talk to myself a lot, I'm sorry. All right, so this one's going to go right in there. I'm not used to my chair being there. An accident. We're going to put just a little more of a different kind of purple in. And then that's going to be it, you guys. A little less fluffy. These might work. These will work just fine. This is going to be just some straight up lavender. It's not as light and airy. It's more condensed. It'll sit and kind of fill in these other areas. I don't want to add another airy piece like this because we already had it in the heather and this and the white and everything. And it would just overpower. So We're going to take those down a notch. We're just going to use regular old lavender to fill in all the rest of the places. And that'll be it. Win. I'll probably use this whole bush, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it down. I got these at my local store, Trees and Trends, but I do believe Walmart puts something very similar out sometime soon. Then they keep it out through the summer, I believe. Love up here on this side. We'll pull a little bit of purple up under here. Put another one up under the bow there. Is there a short one? A little bit more under here. Kind of at the bottom of the bow here. We'll put some around the top. I may end up using another one of these. And that's only because I chose not to use the pink as filler, so I have to make up for that by using the purple. There. Remember, we have to decorate the sides too, because people see the sides. Now, what are we looking at here? Need just another piece for that there, though. This is one. This is one. Taking the two longest pieces, I'm going to put them up in the top, and I'm going to call it. You're still not happy with this bow, y'all. I'm just going to move some of the tails up and out of the way. Really hard way. There we go. I'm cutting the tail out, if you're wondering what I'm doing. Just had too much in there, so I'm cutting one out. And another one. Now I'm happier. I have one more hanging back here. Sneak it in. All right. We are done. What do you think? I mean, you'll just have to play with your bow till it's laying like you like it. So you guys can see it better. Ooh. All right, y'all. Super simple monogram wreath. If you don't want to do a monogram, you can totally do a round sign if you want. That looks adorable. You could do a round sign, monogram. If I think Lori, I've heard her teach in a class recently. Take and put your monogram on here. Take a picture. Take your monogram off. Replace it with this sign. Take a picture. Take all the signs off. Just take a picture with just the florals, and that right here would give you 3 separate listings for your Etsy shop. Doesn't mean you have to make all of it right now, as long as you have enough supplies to do the wreath. Again, add another listing in there. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if we have any gentlemen that tune in, so I don't mean to offend. Have a great weekend, and I guess I'll see you guys next Friday. Have a good one, y'all. My thing doesn't want to work now. Oh, Lord. There we go.